Have you ever stopped and wondered where a truly great idea comes from? How does it go from being just a random spark in someone's head to something that creates real, actual value out in the world? Well, today, we're going to map out that exact journey, from thought to impact. Let's get into it.
I absolutely love this quote from Robert Frost because it just nails it. It tells you right away that ideas aren't about creating something out of absolutely nothing. Nope. They're about connecting things that are already out there, just in a new and surprising way. It's a feat of association.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start with the anatomy of an idea itself. Then we'll bolt on a framework for actually making innovation happen. We'll dive into the human-centered process behind it, and then, this is the big one, we'll connect all of that to how real-world value gets created. We'll wrap things up by looking at your own creative power.
All right, first up, the anatomy of an idea. And let's just bust a myth right off the bat. Creativity is not some magical gift that only a few chosen ones have. It's a process, and it's a process that's accessible to every single one of us. Here it is, the simplest, most useful definition of an idea you'll ever need. It's just a new combination of old elements. Seriously, think of it like cooking. You're not inventing flour or eggs or sugar. You're just combining those old, existing ingredients in a new way to create something totally different, something delicious. And get this isn't some new age concept. The Latin word for to think, cogito, literally means to shake together. That's what your brain is doing. It's taking all those old ingredients, your memories, your skills, things you've read, and it's shaking them all up until a new connection, a new combination clicks into place.
Okay, so if ideas are all about shaking things together, is there a method to the madness? Can you do it on purpose? You bet. Let's move on and give some structure to that creative spark with a framework for innovation.
The framework we're going to use is called design thinking. It's this incredibly powerful methodology because it puts people right at the center of the entire process. It's a mindset that's all about developing creative solutions based on real human needs.
Now, this isn't some brand new trend. Design thinking has been around for decades. It actually grew out of attempts back in the 60s to solve what are called wicked problems. Those super messy, complex challenges that don't have one easy answer. Over time, it's evolved into this amazing solution-focused process we have today. And using it requires a huge mindset shift. Instead of getting stuck on the problem, like, why are our sales down, design thinking flips the script. It gets you to ask a human-centered, solution-focused question, like, how might we create an absolutely amazing shopping experience for our customers? See the difference? It's all about the how, not the why not.
So let's get practical. What does this actually look like day to day? Well, that brings us right into the human-centered process. We're going to pop the hood and look at the 5 key stages of design thinking.
But before we even list the stages, we have to talk about the fuel that makes the whole engine run, and that fuel is empathy. Everything, and I mean everything in design thinking, starts with a deep, real understanding of the person you're trying to help. Empathy is what drives all meaningful innovation. Period. So here they are, the 5 stages. You start with empathize, really feeling your user's world. From that, you define their core problem. Then you ideate, which is the big brainstorming phase. After that, you build a prototype to make your ideas real. And finally, you test them with actual users. But here's the key. This is not a straight line. It's a loop. You might test a prototype and realize you need to go all the way back to empathize again. And that's not a failure. That's the process working perfectly. This phase right here, the ideate phase, is where that shaking together of old elements really kicks into high gear. It's all about collaboration. It's a judgment-free zone where the only goal is to generate a massive number of ideas. You're not looking for the perfect idea yet, you're just looking for all the ideas. Quantity over quality every time. So, okay, we have a powerful process for coming up with tons of ideas. But that's only half the story, right? What's the bridge that takes a great idea from a sticky note on a whiteboard to something that actually changes things in the real world? What's that missing link? And that question brings us to the final and maybe most important part of our journey, creating real-world value. This is where we connect all the dots, linking that creative process to real, tangible outcomes that actually make a difference.
So what even is value creation? Well, at its core, it's simply the process of taking your inputs, your time, your money, your ideas, and transforming them into something that people believe is worth more than the cost of making it. You're making something that's greater than the sum of its parts.
And this diagram shows beautifully how it all fits together. See that wheel?
Value creation is the goal, right in the center. And it's powered by these key skills working together. And look, right there, design thinking is a crucial cog in that engine, working hand in hand with creativity and critical thinking to make it all turn.
But here's the thing. Value isn't just about money. It has all these different dimensions. Sure, there's financial value. Profit is important. But there's also customer value, like an app that saves you 10 minutes every single day. There's process value, finding a smarter, faster way to get something done. And there's even social value, like creating a product that helps the environment. The really big innovations, they usually hit on a few of these at once.
Wow. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground, from what an idea even is all the way to creating value. So for this last section, let's bring it all home. Let's talk about your creative capability and how you can put this stuff into practice like today.
Creative capability isn't about having one lucky flash of brilliance, it's a skill. It's the ability to consistently generate new ideas, to bring fresh thinking to a problem, and, this is the most important part, to actually implement those ideas to get great results again and again. It's a muscle, and you build that muscle by practicing the very steps we just walked through. So, we end right back where we started. We know that an idea is a feat of association, a new mix of old elements. We have a human-centered process to guide that mixing, and we know how that can create incredible value. So the only question left is for you. What old elements, what pieces of your own unique knowledge and experience are you going to shake together today?